This episode is not about politics, but it is about the notion of cutting friends and family out of your life because of their politics, so I guess it is about politics, but it's not about any specific politics, aka appropriate for all audiences. I've lost friends over politics before, some of them more than once. I generally do not agree with the idea that the act of simply holding opposing beliefs should warrant someone to sever the emotional ties that bind you, because that's cult shit. Like, if you don't talk to your mom anymore because she doesn't share your beliefs, I'm gonna assume it was mandated by your new prophet, who also tells you to let him put it in your butt because the Lord can only speak to him through the tip of his anointed rod in the acoustic valley of the anus. But to me, what's more important than people's politics is their attitude toward other people's politics. I don't care who you voted for. I understand the motivations behind most political opinions you can have because I learned them from the perspective of the people who have them. And regardless of whether I think they're misguided or whatever, as long as they seem genuine, it's not going to make me think less of you. Which, by the way, if the only time you ever hear the opposite side's viewpoint is when people on your side tear into it, you have not heard that viewpoint at all, and you certainly don't understand it well enough to pass judgment on everyone who carries it. That's one of the most important lessons I ever learned, and some early stream of consciousness episodes still carry the stench of assumption-based misrepresentation. Watching yourself be confidently wrong in a public forum is one of the most uncomfortable feelings there is. It's like listening to yourself sing off-key or wearing blackface to the BET Awards. The I'm right and everyone else is stupid mentality is annoying in regular topics and downright poisonous in politics because you start to dehumanize your opposition, and once you've succeeded in doing that, then you don't need to care about them anymore. All that matters is your team and their needs. Fuck the outsiders. If they wanted your help, they shouldn't have had the gall to think differently. Watching someone shit on other people for their politics is like seeing someone be mean to a waitress. It's just deeply unpleasant. I know plenty of people are like, if you're rude to waitstaff, we are not friends, and I get it. How you treat people matters. I don't care if you think their ideas are garbage, shit on the ideas all day long, but the people who believe them don't deserve your scorn from a character perspective unless you've personally observed them having shitty character, and sometimes you do observe that, and then you can condemn them on an individual basis, but it's not reflective of the entire kit and caboodle, homie. I've known people who legitimately think half the country is uneducated, which is actually true, but the line dividing educated and uneducated people sure isn't a political one, and you'd have to be pretty uneducated to think it is. But those kinds of insulting blanket generalizations being the crux of your political identity creates this overflowing petri dish of disdain and intolerance that bleeds into the rest of your mentality. It makes you unhappy. I've never met a happy person who thinks like that. They're fucking miserable. And for the sake of your own mental health, I do recommend cutting those people out of your life. I'm getting kind of sick of the attitude against old people voting or being politically active. People are like, their time's up, bro. They won't even be here to see what their choices do. I guarantee when the people who think that now become old, they won't see it that way. And if people really didn't think the old should be making decisions, we wouldn't have an election between two octogenarians where a lot of the people who claim to hold this viewpoint would have preferred the Democratic candidate to be the other octogenarian. Out with the old, in with the new, said the Bernie bro. People act like old people don't still have stakes in this country's future after they're gone. They've got kids, grandkids, great-grandkids. Family generally matters more to them than it does to someone my age, and maybe you might not see that if you're someone who got cut out of the will when grandma died because you only called once a year the day after her birthday because you always forgot. They can be the most caring people in the world, but they can also be vindictive as shit if they think you don't care about them. And that's the other side of their familial compassion, is that because they're so family-oriented, any dismissal or disregard of that can be seen as a deeply felt act of betrayal. And then they're like, fuck you, I'll keep my $6,000 in my coffin with me before I let your ungrateful ass have it. It makes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if we all keep telling old people not to get involved in politics because they supposedly don't care what happens to us, they might stop caring what happens to us and get a little bit more involved. I know if there's one thing old people hate more than anything, it's losing their independence, their ability to do things for themselves. They will fight like hell to hold on to that, so suggest taking it from them at your own risk. This is a shorter one, but that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, you can like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.